Colby call out Wonderboy? You know, I thought this from Jump Street. Now he's doubled down. I mean, here, let's back up. Colby's last fight, championship of the world, scheduled for 5 rounds, win all 5 rounds, opposite Leon Edwards, T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada. December 16th, 2023. So, it was on that night. It was December 16th. Hat in his hand. Heart just torn out of his chest, right, for Colby. Lost a world title his entire life. For that moment, lost a world title fight. And it wasn't just outcome. He didn't have the performance he wanted to. But I really want you guys to understand this. And this isn't to relive a painful moment for Colby if he watches this. It's not to do that at all. It's to make sure that you guys understand where he was at mindset-wise when he called out, surprisingly, Wonderboy. Why was it a surprise? Well, for one, he just lost. For two, Colby has never done anything or attempted to do anything that was not world title-esque. Might have been a contendership fight, might have been an interim fight, might have been the actual title fight. But it was esque. And Wonderboy was coming off a loss. That was not going to be the one to get him back on track. Wonderboy is a nightmare of a matchup. I have never heard, and I believe this to be a literal statement, nobody has ever called out Stephen Thompson. And it's not because he's a nice guy, by the way. Because that is a nightmare to have to go deal with. So, when Colby was in that moment, then we even find he's got a broken foot on top of everything. I mean, he's in pain, and he's calling out, wondering, why did he do that? Is there something between them we don't know? Was something said? Right, because Colby will keep receipts, man. He'll store notes away, but that wouldn't be like Wonderboy to have been the one that said something at some point along the way. Right, I'm just sharing with you, why did he call him out? And I think we all like the fight. There was also something very refreshing, like Colby Covington is in high demand. Colby Covington moves the needle exactly like he tells you he moves the needle, but you can't get a lot of him. And a lot of it is because he's in such high demand. He's going to wait. He's going to be patient. He's going to be in there with champions, with interim champions, with BMF champions. So it's a very different thing to find out, hey, he wants to go. Turn him around. He's ready. Get him in there. And it was so unusual that I believe as a community, our reaction was, he doesn't mean it. This is the adrenaline talking, right? You don't ever want to judge somebody for what they say right after a fight. I want to fight. Give me George St. Pierre. It's like one of those things. Give him a couple days, see if he still wants George, right? It's one of those things. But here we are. That was December 16th. Colby dealt with it. He dealt with the heartache. He dealt with everything he had to deal with. He dealt with a broken foot. Oh, that hurts. It hurts. There's no way to hide it, right? Everywhere you go, you're putting weight. It's your foot. But he still wants Wonderboy. That's the one thing that has stayed constant. And I'm asking you why. Did he see something that night? Did he see something exposed by Rakhmonov? Nah, I don't think so. I mean, I really don't. It was 40 minutes before he fought. I highly doubt he watched the fight with Wonderboy and Rakhmonov. So it just keeps on coming back to why does he want to fight him? And Wonderboy has been fairly quiet, but that's how he is. Wonderboy doesn't say a whole lot. He might really want to fight you. He might not be interested. He kind of handles it the same either way. I would like them to take him up on the offer. I think if you have an opportunity to have Colby Covington, you take that opportunity. And you're not going to have as many of those chances ever as you might think. And there are certain guys that are going to be gone from the sport, and when they're gone, you're going to miss them. That includes very strongly the guys who right now you do not like. And all do not like means is when you watch them, you cheer against them. It almost doesn't matter who the opponent is. You're cheering for the opponent because it's a default. You're cheering against somebody. And I'm just telling you, those are the guys, you're going to miss them a lot. The sport is going to be very, very dull in some aspects when certain guys are gone. And I'm just suggesting for you, I hope they take the fight. I hope they grab Colby. I hope they go with it. If he's saying now what he was saying then, if he was saying it then with a broken bone and wanted to get turned around and get back in there, now we're seeing x-rays and now we know the foot's healed and now we know, hey, we can actually make this fight. We can actually get on with it. I do hope that they look in that direction because as much as I tell you, nobody calls out Wonderboy. I believe that to be a true statement. I only know of one guy that's ever called out Colby. I only know of one guy. It's Gilbert Burns. It's Gilbert. That is the only guy that I have ever seen, and that includes for a grappling match. So I find it to be a fairly unique situation, not to mention Gilbert Burns is booked. So when you come back to the available pieces on the board, I like the match, but I still do wonder why. What is it that made Colby right after his fight with Leon and 2 months later with a level and clear head to look back at the same moment, do the same call out? I'm purely curious. Perhaps he set it down somewhere. Colby just did an interview with a Submission Radio. Those are probably... Submission Radio is probably the number one ally of Colby Covington, aside from me, but I don't do interviews, right? A great spot, and I listened to the whole thing. But it was long, and I'm thinking, maybe I got distracted, maybe I missed it, maybe he said why he wants Wonderboy. So I'm not asking you rhetorically, I'm asking you if you know something I don't know, tell me. Why is Colby calling out Stephen Thompson?